Griffith for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here today. As we change our mix in our grid, we're becoming more and more reliant on natural gas, which means we have more and more natural gas pipelines running across the country, which are subject to potential harm or attack. I do think that your agency is the right one to do it. The chairman mentioned a few minutes ago that people need to talk to FERC also, and we may need legislation to make sure that we have coordination going there. I personally think we've given too much power to FERC as a Congress, and we need to take some of that back anyway. But along those lines, I find it interesting because I think it would be helpful in this if we looked at some of the new technologies. As a disclosure, I have a Corning facility in my district, and they were showing me a number of their products. They do not make this product in my district, but they've apparently got a fiber that they can put on top of a pipeline that can detect temperature change and vibrations that then shows you on a computer if somebody is driving a truck up near the pipeline, getting out of the truck, walking, starting to shovel. You can tell all of that from the vibrations. And if there's any kind of a leak, so you've got both the bad actor and then just the bad pipe issue, they can also, because the temperature changes and it can detect the temperature change, it can pick up a pinprick leak. And I'm just wondering why we aren't asking, at least on the new pipelines that we're putting in for natural gas, that we don't have some kind of a technology like that so that we can observe if somebody's trying to do something untoward, or observe if there's just an accident about to happen. I think it would behoove us to do some of that. Have you all looked at any of that, or is that something you would be open to?
I would be open to doing that. Based on my previous experience, I was a partner in a venture capital firm, so I understand a lot of what you're talking about with the new technologies. I would say that trying to be a little disruptive, that a lot of the models that are currently being looked at right now are from the center going out, kind of the command and control piece. And what you're really describing is from the outside in.
Yep.
And so that is going to change the architecture, and I view that that's what my role is to be able to say, hey, if we agree on this, here is an architecture that we're recommending so that we can then talk to industry about it. Based on that, and we're looking at it from a national security standpoint, it's my understanding the way this is supposed to work, so you guys can correct me here, is that then that would feed into the FERC process, which then could then do and address some of the things that you're talking about, because we would show this is the modeling, this is how it works, here's a voluntary way that you can do it, and can then be built into the standards process, which would then be overseen by FERC.
Well, and that may be, but I'm not sure that they're completely on board with all of this, and so I'd be more than happy to work with you all to see if we needed legislation to just say this is where we're going to go. You have to figure out first how you want to change that architecture, but it does seem to me that that's probably a better way to go, instead of from the central office out, have the information coming in,
and I'll be happy to brief you as we continue to do this work.
And I appreciate that. I also should probably note that while I've seen this one product by one manufacturer, I'm sure there are competing interests, and I don't care which one gets picked. I just want to make sure, because I have a lot of constituents right now with two pipelines coming through the area, one through my district and one through the neighboring districts. There are a lot of people who are concerned about problems like we heard about from the senator from Massachusetts, and pumping stations, and they're worried about the safety of their communities and their homes. And it just seems like we probably could put their minds to ease. I know when I've talked about this technology with those folks, they said if only they were doing that, I'd feel a lot better about it. They'd still probably have some reservations, but they'd feel a lot better that, 20 years from now, they weren't going to have a major problem. I thank you, and I yield back.
I thank the gentleman, and seeing there are no further